Welcome, everybody. It's Saladin Davis, your favorite motivator and author of Life 101 Lessons from a 13-Year-Old Father. You got to get your copy. Stop. I don't know what you're playing for. www.lifesparkweb.com. Go pick up your copy today. Amazon.com for the Kindle version for all you Kindle readers. But let's jump right into it. I told you guys last week that I'm going to be coming with some videos that help you out with perspective on what the book is about, on what type of value the book can add to your life or anybody else's lives that actually intake the information. So we really started from the day that I found out that I might have a child and the conversation that me and my mother had that night. we it's very interesting because one of the first questions that people say, or one of the first statements that people say is, "I know your mom went in on you," or whatever the case may be. But what actually happened was the complete opposite. She consoled me and she told me I have to be responsible. Things have changed now. You're going to have to be responsible for everything that you've done. But the plan doesn't change. You're still going to school. You're still going to go get your education because you cannot raise a kid if you're a dummy your damn self. Exact words. I can't make that up. So that's kind of where my mom came from. Now, was she hard on me going through it? Yes. But that night, that day when she knew I needed her to give me that reassurance, she was there. So that's how that worked out. And I wanted to just share an excerpt of how I felt in the blame game, the lack of accountability and responsibility that I had as a 13-year-old boy looking at a situation where you're about to have a child. So how it reads is, I started to play the blame game to take the weight off of my shoulders because there was no way that someone like myself deserved this. I blamed God. How could God pick me out of all kids in the world for this to happen to? What kind of God will put a child in a situation to throw his childhood away for another? What kind of God puts the baby in a situation to be raised by two children who haven't even reached high school yet? What kind of God? I blamed him for my situation. How was I supposed to end up? I didn't have a father around to teach me about manhood. Not having a father first forced my mother to take care of everybody. There was no way she could keep tabs on me at all times. How could she? She had a mortgage to pay by herself. My father figures were my brothers who were still trying to figure out things themselves. They were having sex. And if I wanted to be like them, I had to do the same. Sports and girls were how you defined yourself as a man. And I was a young man. This was all a defense mechanism I created in order to get myself back to being normal. I wanted to be the playful, energetic, flirty teenager whom everybody grew to know. The only way to do this was to defend myself against the judgment of the outside world and against the mental projections of what my future could be if the child was indeed mine. So I did my best to put everything aside and go through my day-to-day as if nothing has changed. Never in my life more than this moment had I realized how wonderful it is to be a child, to do and not to think about the consequences, to have the luxury of someone else watching over you to make sure you're doing the right thing. I really, really wanted things to continue to be this way. So I hoped and prayed that I would be able to continue to be a child. This was my mindset going through this situation. I was playing the blame game. And it was this time of life more than anything that I needed to be responsible and accountable for the things that I've done. So the lesson that follows that part of the story is accountability, which is probably one of the best, most important lessons that we could ever have. You have to be accountable for everything you do. It's your fault. So some of that information is telling you it's your fault. No more excuses. And it's funny because we've gotten to the point where excuses are so normal in our everyday that we don't even call them excuses. I can't get a job because of the economy. I can't get a job because I have a record. Oh, I have so many children because of I didn't have a father and I didn't know how to feel loved. And it's excuses. Yeah, you see as reasons, and we enable other people that make excuses by validating their excuse. Like it's so commonplace now that we don't know that they're excuses, and that has to cut. And that's what's explained in accountability. No excuses. It's your fault, no matter good or bad. Everything you are responsible. Pardon me, you're responsible for your situation. You, and only you. You're the common denominator for your life. It's you. So stop putting it on everything else It's you. It's your fault. Wherever you are right now is your fault. Own it. Now, the beautiful thing about being accountable is everything that's good is your fault also. And that gives you that control when you start to realize that being accountable and understanding your position and everything that you do and everything that you are and the position that you're in right now is you control it. When you make excuses, you give control to something or someone else. You control where you are when you're accountable. You control everything. So it's very important to embrace it. And some of the things that I put in the book in this chapter to help you consistently practice this and understand how to keep yourself accountable is what I call accountability sheet. Is one where you put down your goal, a specific task. It doesn't have to be long term. It can be a short term goal. But you also write down all the necessary actions that you need to take to get to that goal. All of the necessary actions. And this is because you want to understand what you need to do on a day-to-day basis, how you should be living on a day-to-day basis in order to be consistent with your accountability, right? So you have the destination and you have the directions. You know how to go. And if you go outside of those directions, it takes you off track. I call this the success GPS. Destination, direction. But if you take a wrong turn, you're not going in the direction of your destination, just like if you were driving. So this helps you out, and you choose these, not me. I don't write them down for you. You choose them, right? And the last piece of the success GPS is your accountability partners. Your accountability partners are they're the voice of the GPS lady that's telling you reroute, make this U-turn, go this way. They are there to help you in keeping you accountable for the things you said you want to do with your life. And these are people that you trust, some people that you look up to, possibly mentors, but people that you trust to keep you accountable for where you want to be in your life. But all this common denominator is you. You have to be accountable for everything that happens in your life. Every place, everything about you, everything about your current situation is on you. And it's on you to change it for the better, to improve it, to progress. It's on you. Be accountable. That's what the accountability chapter is all about. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is just one of many more videos to come to help you understand what type of value Life 101 brings to you, to any reader, to anybody who's going to take this information in and use it for themselves and to help others. All right, www.lifesparkweb.com. Jump on today. Please go get your copy. Go get your copy. It's changing lives, man. I'm going to be at the Teen Empowerment Summit at UNC Charlotte on Saturday. Saturday is the 16th. Saturday, November 16th at UNC Charlotte Teen Empowerment Summit. Woo! It's going to be crazy. Can't wait to motivate some young people to change the world. See you next week.